Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's show of the Employ Baltimore Show. We really appreciate you joining us today, and I encourage everyone to please like, comment, and share this broadcast. We have a good show. It's a short show, but a pretty good show today for you. And our guest is the Executive Director, Jonathan Davis from the Baltimore Crisis Response Incorporated organization, and he's going to talk to you about the wonderful opportunities. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you about MOED and the great opportunities that we also have for you on our Now Hiring Job Board. It's full of a variety of employment opportunities and a variety of segments and industries that connects you directly with a business services representative who can review your resume, pre-screen you, and connect you with those employers. So please check us out at moed.baltimorecity.gov/job board so that you can find the perfect opportunity for you or a family member. I've highlighted it here, and we look forward to you reaching out to us so that we can service you. In addition to that, we strongly encourage everyone to please register for the Maryland Workforce Exchange site. This is a site that's really important with us to make sure that we provide all of the services for yourself as well as for our employers. So please go to mwejobs.maryland.gov to register for the Maryland Workforce Exchange so that we can collectively utilize that site as we help you look for jobs. One of the great opportunities that we have coming up is with anyone who's interested in a career in IT or information technology. Trigen Technologies is having a virtual interview session on July 31st from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You do have to register by July 28th, and it's a three-step process. Number one, you have to be registered with the Maryland Workforce Exchange. So please be sure that you are registered with that particular site prior to going to step two, which is to go to the Trigen website, www.trigen.com, to complete an application for one of the positions that's listed on this particular flyer. It's quite several positions from entry level to mid-level to senior level positions. And thirdly, you need to actually register for the virtual interview session by going to the website bit.ly/WRC Trigen Virtual. And when you type in that website, be sure to make sure whatever is capitalized, whatever is lowercase is lowercase, so that you can definitely get to the website. And you will receive information from one of my colleagues to let you know if you're qualified to move forward for the virtual interview session. So we look forward to everyone responding to that information. And as you're watching the show today, if you have any questions about anything that you see, you can definitely contact me directly for any additional services or any additional employers at bit.ly/TEBS customers. And I'll be sure to show this link a little bit later. All right, so now I'd like to get started as we talk about Baltimore Crisis Response Incorporated. It's a wonderful organization in Baltimore, and they're doing some really great work. And I'd like to bring to the stage now Mr. Jonathan Davis. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, how's it going?
Very, very good.
Good.
Thank you so much. So some people are familiar with the Baltimore Crisis Response Incorporated. Some people are not. Give us a little bit more information about who is Jonathan Davis, what brought you to the company, and what's your favorite seafood dish? Your favorite seafood dish?
Sure. Jonathan Davis here, a native of Atlanta, Georgia, born and raised there, and spent most of my life there. Decided about 3 years ago to move to the DMV, inspired by the musical Hamilton. And I know that's a kind of interesting prompt to come to the DMV, but one of my favorite musicals, and I wanted to be in a space to do something very meaningful to change the world and to make the world a better place for others. And so I moved to the DMV about 3 years ago. What brought me to Baltimore Crisis Response Inc. is its vision and mission. The vision of Baltimore Crisis Response is to ensure that every person who is in need of assistance receives the most appropriate and least restrictive response to their needs. Baltimore Crisis Response Inc. has been around for over 30 years, supporting people in Baltimore City and Central Maryland when they are experiencing behavioral health crises. All services include the 988 call center. We have mobile response teams. We have residential programming for medical detox, substance abuse, and crisis stabilization. And we also have a law enforcement diversion program. Um, Ton of great services to support the community. And so my personal professional vision and mission for my life aligns very closely with BCRI. And so that is what brought me here. You asked the interesting question about my favorite seafood.
Yes,
Um,
since it's
I am
Baltimore and we're all seafood, crabs, and things of that nature, and you're new to Baltimore, you've got to be well versed by now.
here's the rent in the agenda here. I am allergic to
You know
seafood.
what? I had a feeling you were going to say that. It's okay. I have plenty of Benadryl for that. But no,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
not encouraging you to have any allergy reactions. I just know people they push through if Benadryl helps them, but otherwise, I want you to play it safe.
Yeah, it's funny when I first moved here, people were, you know, you know, sharing that they were so happy that I was, in town and that they wanted to take me to their favorite, place to eat crabs.
Hmm.
And I'm
Yes.
like, well, let me make sure I have my EpiPen and some Benadryl,
Hmm.
and hopefully close by a hospital.
One of our viewers said they're sorry to hear that. They will definitely eat your portion. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Yes, indeed. All right. So since you've been here at BCRI, give us a little bit of background of some of the. You did say some of the great things that you all do, which I have a few visuals here. Some
Mhm.
community engagement and support for the community. And this particular photo is showing how awesome Governor Moore at a community event that you all have had in the past. In addition to 911 diversion, which is um, one one of the opportunities that you all are going to talk about.
Mhm.
So let us know what type of person that you're looking for these positions that you have available with BCRI.
Yep, sure thing. Yep. So the photo with Governor Moore, and I agree, our awesome Governor Moore. So thrilled to have him leading this wonderful state of Maryland. Um, but I do believe this is um, um, our support at the Brooklyn in the Brooklyn Homes community when there was a shooting there. The I think the city did a great job at rallying around that community to make sure they had the supports, and we were one of the people there, along with our wonderful governor,
Mhm.
to listen here and to make sure that people in that community um, get the resources and the support they need.
Yes, that sounds wonderful. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the positions that you have. So, this is a beautiful photo of the team that you have from the 911 diversion position unit, which falls in line, if I'm correct, into your phone counselor's position. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Baltimore City has a very innovative program, which is titled called 911 diversion. And essentially, what happens here is that when callers call into 911 and a 911 call center specialist um, realize that it is a behavior health matter, the
Hmm.
911 call center counselor would do a warm handoff to BCRI's call center, the 988 call center. The goal here is to make sure that people get the right fit response for their needs. And we know that the best people to support people who are in behavior health crisis are trained mental health professionals and clinicians. And so this awesome program, which also won last year Maryland's County of Innovations Award.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yep. Super excited about that. This program really connects folks who may have mistakenly or wrongfully called 911 for behavioral health support uh,
Hmm.
to 988, which is the most appropriate resource for supporting people who are experiencing behavioral health crisis or requesting some sort of emotional support. One of the um, positions that we are hiring for are includes clinicians who will sit in the 911 call center.
Hmm.
The goal here is to make sure that 911 callers have a really good understanding on what is behavior health related crisis. And so this council will be there, providing training to 911 call center counselors and also answering some of the calls that come into Baltimore Police Department 911 call center as well.
Okay, that's fantastic. And it's really important for individuals to have a spirit of wanting to be able to help and to know how to handle crisis management and things of that nature, and very good listening skills in reference to helping individuals when they come in. You also have a wonderful mobile crisis response unit. Can you give us a little bit more information about that unit?
Yeah, sure. So we have what we call mobile crisis response, um, and these are teams of people, either a clinician or a person with lived experience, or a clinician and a nurse, to go out into the community and to respond to people who need some behavioral health supports.
Hmm.
Uh, I mentioned earlier that we have the 988 call center, and so people will call into the 988 call center for support. We typically can resolve people issues about 80 to 85% on the call. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes we
Hmm.
need to go to them.
Okay.
And these mobile crisis teams are deployed into the community to meet people where they are, to provide the support that they need. The mobile crisis counselors are there to de escalate crisis,
Okay.
connect people to resources, and sometimes bring them back to one of our residential programs for additional care support.
Okay, that's awesome that you do have that additional support where they can actually be taken out of the environment that may not be suitable for them at that time to continue to assist them.
Correct.
That's really awesome because we do
Yep.
we do need that. Now, this is a list of some of the wonderful positions that you are currently hiring for. Peer recovery specialist, $17.50 an hour up to $21 an hour, as well as a residential specialist that's starting at $16.25 to $17 an hour. The on-site call center counselor, which is $22 an hour. I know a lot of people are probably interested in that as well.
Mhm.
And the behavioral health clinician, which is the highest paid one out of these positions, 34 to 38. If you haven't already, are you able to give us a little bit more detail about each of these positions and the type of person that you're looking for?
Yes, for sure. We are so super excited to be partnering with MoEd here around employing Baltimoreans, and I can't think of a better way to employ Baltimoreans than to provide jobs that care for Baltimore, right? So this really is a perfect match. The peer recovery specialists; these are individuals who have lived experience, whether with behavior health related matters, substance use, or homelessness. We see the value in those individuals being a part of treatment teams and providing support to people. And so we have positions just for people who have walked that walk. They have lived that life and they know and connect better in ways than other professionals how um, to build rapport and camaraderie with people to really support them in their most vulnerable times. And so we are looking for people with lived experience, to really be a part of our team. Also, our residential specialists, these individuals work in our residential units. We have two residential programs. One is medical detox, the second is substance abuse. And the third is crisis stabilization. And the residential specialists play a key role in the day to day management and support of people who are receiving services in those programs. Those residential programs, people may be with us up to 30 days, really receiving some intense services and care. So we have 9 positions open for residential specialists, and I believe that um, you don't have to have a college degree. You can have a GED or a school diploma at minimum to apply for either the peer recovery specialist role or the residential specialist position.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
For the residential specialist, do they live on, not live, but yeah, do they live on site with them, or they just come for a few hours and then go home?
Yeah, so the residential specialists, they work typically work an 8-hour shift on site, and so operations are 24/7 at BCRI. We typically have 3 shifts, um, and so normally the residential specialist will work an 8-hour shift on one of the floors to provide support there.
Awesome.
The on-site call center counselor, super, super, super exciting opportunity. I mentioned earlier that we, for Central Maryland, Baltimore Crisis Response Inc. administers and is one of the operators for the Central Maryland 988 call center. 988 was instituted about 2 years ago, and it is the new 3-digit number for behavioral health support. And so we have 27 openings for call center counselors. We're looking for people who are compassionate. We're looking for people who is able to listen well to people and who could really connect people to services and resources. I will add that for this position, we don't require a bachelor's degree. We would like for people to have a high school diploma, GED, or higher. However, we provide a ton of training, a ton of training. And so if people are interested in becoming a call center counselor, they may apply, and don't worry, we will teach and train you so you could be the best call center counselor that you could be. 27 positions open there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and also our behavior health clinicians, we have 30 of those positions open. And so those clinicians will either participate on our mobile response teams that is providing services in the community, or they may be a clinician on one of our residential programs. And so for the clinician positions, we do require a graduate degree and people to be licensed, either as a licensed social worker and also a licensed professional counselor. This is a great way for new clinicians to really learn the system, to really learn how to be present and to support people who are experiencing very vulnerable compounding circumstances.
Okay, you've given us quite a lot of information about all of these wonderful positions, and we're really grateful to have the BCRI in Baltimore doing really wonderful work for individuals who need help and assistance. Let's see if we have some questions. Okay, so Delana wants to know, is there any training offered for the peer recovery specialist position?
Yes, we require extensive training for all of our positions, and we also have mentors, and we have shadow opportunities. Um, we really, when we hire people, we really invest in them to be successful, and so all the training and education that is required to do well in this job, trust me, we'll make sure you get it.
Wow, that's awesome. Very good. So, Delana, if you or anyone else is interested in connecting with the business services representative that's working with BCRI, I did put the link in the comments, so you should hopefully be able to click on it from the feed. But it's also listed here, bit.ly/MOED BCR, and we'll be able to contact you back in reference to the steps that you need to follow in order to officially apply. Um, um, Delana had another comment. She says she just graduated from UMB with a BA in social work, and she starts her graduate program in the fall, and she doesn't have a lot of hands-on experience. But I'm sure, considering that, Mr. Davis would be willing to have you as a part of his company in one of these fabulous positions. Is that not correct?
Delaney, we will find something for you.
I know that's right. We also have Melody who has a question. Um, Melody wants to know to say that if a person has a board certified mental health coach certification instead of a licensed social worker certification, would that work also?
So that particular certification would not work for the behavioral health clinician. Those requirements are set by the state, and so we can't, make any adjustments there. But however, Melody, apply. We have a ton of positions, and we could find something that best suits your education, certification, skills, and interests.
Yes, because although we're concentrating on these four positions, there are many more that they have
Correct.
available. And once you register on this particular website, bit.ly/MOEDBCR, you'll receive additional information so that we can, have you apply. You'll get the link to apply. We'll have you send in your resume, and it'll be pre-screened to determine what you want to do. Because if you're interested in helping individuals in crisis and trauma, then we BCRI and the community is going to need all the help that we can get. Is that right?
That is more than right. Um, that is more than right. And I mentioned this before. Uh, Baltimoreans supporting caring for Baltimoreans, it is definitely a win-win.
Do you have a last pitch for us, Jonathan, in reference to BCRI or any of the positions or the type of people that you are looking for these positions?
Yeah, I do. If you're that person who wants to make the world a better place for other people, if you that person who have seen people, not receive the appropriate care that you think they should, and want to be a change agent, come work for us. Come work with us as we commit every day to making the lives of our neighbors and our community members better. And I know oftentimes it's cliche to say that we save lives, but we are committed and dedicated and work diligently every day to save lives. And so, if you want to be a world changer, come join our team.
And I'm talking again while the mic is muted. I love it. And you are absolutely right. It is about being a game changer and being a blessing as well. And that's how I look at it with what we do here as well at MOED. We're helping people and we're being a blessing to them. And a lot of times they're blessing us too when we meet them and we're able to see them move forward and thrive. And that's what we're all about. Well, we appreciate you joining us today, and you are invited to come back again and again because we do understand in this particular field and type of work that there is always going to be a need for individuals to service the community. So you're more than welcome to come back and talk about BCRI and show us some more wonderful photos and to show us all of the great things that you all are doing. And we look forward to, paying a visit to your centers so that we can see firsthand how we are helping individuals get employed with you and in reference to what they're doing.
Sound wonderful. It's been a pleasure and always happy to come back and talk about the great work that we're doing and our interest in, again, making the world a better place.
All right. I love it. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Thank
And
you.
make sure you have a wonderful weekend and stay cool. The weather has gotten better. And
Yay.
I hope it stays that way.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And once again, I will highlight the um, flyer so that you can see the opportunities that the Baltimore Crisis Response Center has. They are hiring for a peer recovery specialist, residential specialist, on site call center counselor, and a behavioral health clinician. And if you're interested in connecting with them in reference to these opportunities, please go to bit.ly/MOEDBCR, complete the registration, and you will be contacted in reference to that. And I thank you, Delana, and I thank you, Melanie, as well, for joining us. And thank you for asking those wonderful questions. And for anyone else who's interested, once again, go to the website bit.ly/MOEDBCR. And if you also want to connect with me in reference to other opportunities, you may do so by going to bit.ly/tabs customers. Once again, I thank you so much for joining us, and we plan to be back next week with another great show. And I just want you all to have a wonderful weekend and please be safe. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a great one.